Hey everybody, welcome back to Freedom Planet 2. This is basically the bonus video. You don't want to watch this one, you don't have to. Well, you didn't have to watch any of them, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's very unlikely that I'll be able to afford everything. But let's see how many I can get. The main goal is to end up in here. This is the gallery that belongs it's like the bonus gallery. I should probably be thinking of something to say. And I am. But I'm failing. I suppose a basic review of the game would be appropriate. I enjoyed it rather. But I gotta admit, I think I enjoyed the first game better. Leastwise, the music was much better. I don't think you ever saw this one. You can only fight that thing in the battle sphere. I think generally the music was not as good as in the first game. And the difficulty was very high. To the point where I needed to be able to just, not die. Whenever I ran out of health, I could just press the button on the controller and just keep going. When did I fight that? Oh. It's the pieces of the BFF 2000. Again, it's not to say this was in any way a bad game. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Thoroughly recommend it. Sure, you can do a lot better than I did. You know that? The head of the museum should be thanking me for this. I may not have been able to replace the things that were lost, but look what I'm giving him in return. Confections, a staple of every corner store in Avlet. Some would say running a candy factory is a dream job, but they haven't seen what I've seen. Best not to think about what I've been through to bring the gift of candy to everyone. Just though in the end, the struggles I faced make it all the sweeter. Trouble with Winston's Confections began the very first day. The money raised from my short-lived political career in Shangmu was supposed to go towards building the magnificent candy factory. Turned out that Bernstein, my chief accountant, had been skimming funds and absconding with the stolen money. Last anyone saw of him, he was on a ferry over to Perusa with a young lady on his arm. To raise funds, I had to sell my shares of a news media company to Jebediah, my best friend at the time. This gave him a controlling interest in the company and gave me the money to finish my factory. However, when I finally released the first Winston Confections, what awaited me was a scathing review from Tri-Kingdom News, written by my so-called friend himself. We haven't spoken since. My wife Susan, who suggested that we sponsor a show at the Globe Opera. We thought it would draw up support and brand recognition of Winston's Confections. I didn't know at the time was the show we sponsored was being directed by a former political rival of mine and also my wife's secret lover, Susan. Secret lover. Susan and I divorced soon after. There's enough stories about Winston Confections for now. I'm sure you must be tired of hearing an old man ramble. In any case, it all worked out in the end, so why dwell on the past? But still, I wonder what it would have been like if I had never left Xinguang, I don't know. Would I still be sitting across the snow laughing like only a carefree little boy could? I suppose we'll never know. I don't remember any of that the first time I played. Guess they just never talked to the old man. Starting to run low. At least I got to build a replica of this. I wonder how accurate that replica is. Does it work? She really had a lot of parts, didn't she? I like how they put a little wind machine on it so that the little furls could blow. I don't even know why I'm really doing this. Probably for my own... Well, I don't know. Keep going until I can't anymore, I suppose. Yeah, you know, on second thought, let's just do what I really came here to do. Okay, a cool adjustments to the self-replicating robots, and I'll have the whole museum fixed up by the same dinosaur bones that wrecked the place, which is so awesome. curious being grumpy mini-butt, though. Disrespect the ancient remains of these magnificent creatures. This is what they would have wanted! This is gonna be great. I've never had a meat friend before. Science buddies! Do all meat friends come with their own laboratory? Making friends in the non-literal sense is awesome! Corey's around here somewhere. There she is. This bice. I thought I had my hardened all padlock, but no. Now I'm feet dry and hauling robot bits around till this gallery's all sweet again. And what's the Perusian Air Force gonna do with my Ciguana? Bet they're all patting themselves on the back for this boondoggle. Ugh. Still not happy about it, but at least I get to see my sister more often. Just don't tell her I said that. Please don't tell her I said that. Alright. Not that we're finishing with this video just yet. My Carol playthrough has been completely done. Well, not completely, but this is her jump disc. Throw it, and you can jump to it. So hey, you're probably wondering why I'm here despite the blinding lights. Well, you just crossed the fourth wall. You're about to enter the super special Galaxy Trail exhibit. The producer of Fetal Planet 2, Sabrina Di Dorio, loves bats, so she asked me to be her personal avatar for this section of the gallery. To be honest, I've always wanted to try acting, so I'll do my best to relay Sabrina's thoughts to you. Ahem. Here goes. Ah! Thank you so much for playing our game. A lot of love and hard work into it. In fact, it took us 7 years. Anyway, the Galaxy Trail exhibit showcases some concept art of the characters as well as beta and unused concept. I just thought it was cool to see how games are produced, so I wanted to add something like that into Freedom Planet 2. I've unlocked the door for you. You may enter. Normally you only see these citizens inside the monorail trains in Chinton Park. Since I can't see them very well in normal gameplay, I decided to put them here in their full glory. These are their names from left to right. Daniel, Maria, Ronaldo, Moro, Tia, Ruth, Fox, Snappy, Leon, and Aaron. Oh, wait, isn't there already a Leon and Aaron in the game? Bunnies in Royal Palace, right? In fact, they were originally cats, but we have a lot of cats, so when it came time to animate them, we turned them into bunnies. Unused bird citizens. They were scrapped because animating flapping wings takes a real long time and we had other priorities. The names from left to right are Pengu, Dardo, and Aguila. Concept sprites for Cordelia. Gosh, it took us a while before we settled on an outfit we liked. Cordelia's early outfit had a color palette resembling lilacs. We settled on 2 outfits for her, a formal one and a casual one to represent her character growth. Notice how the headpiece on the third concept resembles Pengu more closely. Her formal attire else has it too, albeit smaller. You bastards, I forgot you're in here! Those are beta versions. This is what Goldie's used to look like before Adventure Scare was overhauled. I still think the exterior here looks really cool. The interior is also 2 basements, one for the karaoke bar and one for the hero's hideout. Was there a functioning karaoke bar? Like, was there like a mini game involved? An earlier version of Julie's house. It's a little bit too Western style for the Royal Palace, so we eventually redo it. I think it looks great on its own. Attention! Fearless reporting for duty. At least that was the original plan. At one point we were going to have a lot of copies of me around the Royal Palace. This would have made Chengdu's army appear larger, and we would have fought alongside the player against Murga's forces in Palace Courtyard. However, the stage was already chaotic, so introducing an army of friendly NPCs would have made things noisy and confusing. Also, the artist would have needed to spend time drawing a bunch of combat animations for us, like running and shooting, KO, etc. Honestly, I think it worked out better this way. Now there is only one of me. I am unique and free of existential crisis, mostly. This is part of the gateway of the old layout of the Royal Palace Hub. After we changed the palace to a more of a city environment, this building went unused. This is what the Singing Water Temple was originally going to look like. New buildings were made fairly quickly after it was finished, so it was left unused. Ow! Ooh, that really hurt. Why am I doing this to myself? Concept sprites for King Day. We knew this was going to be a touch-up, so I didn't bother with the finer details. He was going to wear his father's crown, but I don't think he would want to risk getting damaged, so it became background decor instead. We also gave him a thick layered clothing to match the colder climate of his kingdom. Concept sprites for Spade. I experimented with a suit for him to show that he's grown past his rival with the heroes. Honestly, I thought it would make sense for his active profession, so we went with a more practical look that was just as stylish, if not more so. Long time no see. So yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got in this situation. To tell you the truth, they had me scheduled to fight alongside you in Skybridge. Battle Royale sections on the red platforms would have had your friends fight alongside you. And me, of course. I also had a sparring match scheduled in Shank 2's Jojo where we could have battled for old time's sake. But you know how it goes. Tight scheduling, shifting priorities, gameplay not working out as intended, all causing a change of plans. So yeah, that's the story here. Hope you got a kick out of me being cool and suave while being informative at the same time. That was one of the bloopers from the first game. Concept straight for the Ballista Sword enemy. The idea was that we would fly diagonally down from the top screen in the courtyard, cutting through the terrain. I wasn't really feeling nice idea, so I went with the droplet shits that instead would dispense troopers. Ube! Guess what? My Ube garden was planned to be a real thing. Well, it is real, but you can't go into it. The robots stamped it out, and I have to regrow my poor Ube from scratch. But this is what they would have looked like when fully sprouted. Ube! They have faces. Why is this? Seeds from Ancestral Forge used to be a lot smaller. We felt these were too easy to miss or get stuck in unfavorable positions, so we increased their size and limit their movement to specific areas. Concept art for Escal. His design was a lot more evil looking at first, which would have made his portrayal a little too obvious. We came up with an outfit based on traditional Filipino attire. The heavier design still looks really cool, but it would have been a nightmare to animate. This final design takes the best elements of that outfit and pars them down to their essential core bits. Concept sprites for General Gong. We knew that Gong's sprites would be revamped from the start, which is why his concept sprite is so sloppy. On the right is a back sprite that you never would have seen in the game. Concept sprite for Murder. Just like the first game, it all started with a villain. I started with a male design at FP1's character size. Once we settled on larger sprites, she became a shark-like water dragon. The final design is the only one that wasn't touched up by Tyson 10. I was pretty happy with her design out of the gate. Freedom Planet 1 styled Super Shield. In early versions of the game, Mila still had to hold and release a special button to perform her Super Shield Burst. Now she performs the Shield Burst by pressing the attack button, leaving the sprite unused, mostly. You can still see her press and hold attack and special at the same time. The cube is summoned. Timing's tricky though. It's Mila. Remember when Mila said she would enter the battlesphere as a masked marauder? This is what her costume would have looked like. Like all the player characters, Mila has a huge number of sprites, so this was never going to be a reality, but it's really cool to come up with. It's a Mila. In Real Freedom Planet, Mila had plantigrade feet. We changed her to digigrade for the sequel to make some of her animations feel more dog-like. We also swapped out the brown clothes for a much sharper and visually striking black bodysuit with gold trim. Construction Nira. She started out with a transpotted sprite from Freedom Planet 1. From there, we changed her peach skin to white, which matches her cooler tones more nicely. Finally, I felt like the eyeliner cutter should be a Carol thing and swapped the heels out with more practical flats. Concept stripes for Carol. I experimented with a yellow outfit, but I didn't feel like it had enough contrast. For the final pass, she became a lot fluffier with a more cohesive, sharp design. Touring bike concept. We came up with various bike designs for the motorbikes Carol could ride, with alternative modes for swimming underwater. The touring bike was imagined as a balanced jack of all trades. This is the bike that we eventually chose for Carol. Some of these I'm not going to look at. What the? Oh wow, look what they did with Corey. Construct for Corazon. Strip trying to nail down a look for her that didn't resemble an 80s pop star. To answer this conundrum, of course, was a slick-looking double-layered aviator jacket. Yeah, now it's different with this clown that I still despise. Concert stripes for including a back sprite that you normally don't see in the game. At first, he wasn't just a monkey; he was an alien space monkey from space. The final design, we brought him back down to Avalis and made him a cuter with a warmer color palette. His love for space never went away, though. Concepts for Serpentine, including a back sprite that you don't usually see in the game. We started with his Freedom Planet 1 sprite transpotted the Freedom Planet 2 size, and that just made him sharper and edgier. The armor he wears now is still the same armor, but has a lot of battle damage. No, it doesn't. Don't lie to me. Okay, that's what this. Alright, I think that's enough of that. So there's one last thing I want to show you. I have no idea how long this video's been going for. Oh, whoa, tragedy that I, Mayor Sao, was so easily taken in by the overwhelming charisma of that Captain Kalal. Only be betrayed, that dastardly fiend. That's how my Battlesphere apology video is going to start off. Anyway, what do you think? Too much? Too little? Not enough? Let me try again. Oh, whoa, oh, tragedy. I intend to make my way to Perusa, see what historical records I can uncover in the homeland of the Water Dragons. It's been a while since I've traveled on my own. I wonder what proficiencies I require. By the way, the book on flowers I mentioned featuring the first-hand historical account, it's called The Amaget Blooms, a horticultural exploration of Perusia. If you wish to consult it yourself, it's on the bookshelf at the end of this room. The book on Perusian flora has been left open on the shelf. In the early hours of the morning off the shore of Perusia, The experimental planet cracker Bakanawa fired a focused mining beam at the island. It consumed several villages on the coastline, along with any workers who were working within the barrel that focused the beams. The casualties numbered in the tens of thousands. They said it was an accident. The supervisor in charge was relieved of his duty and moved to another department. The management apologized most sincerely and promised that reparations would be made to the families of the deceased. The scientists and engineers said that while the destruction was tragic, the data collected would be useful in preventing future disasters like this one. And it was hard, so very hard, not to notice that the ones who had died were water dragons. And the ones making excuses and apologizing were earth dragons. And that accidents happen, and that I believe in the worst in people, and these are not my own thoughts. These are not my own thoughts! My mother was right. Oh, Nana, you were right. I wish I had listened to you. I wish I remembered the songs you used to sing me to sleep in our old language. The language I rejected because I didn't want to be thought as a backward heathen from the islands. I accepted their tongue, their words. Even my thoughts have been molded to be pleasing to their comprehension. We did everything they asked. They taught us to reject our old names, our old ways, and it was still not enough. We did nothing wrong, but they punished us anyway. How much more will we suffer as their brothers and sisters of the sea before we realize we can never be one of them? That I can never be one of them. I killed my caretaker today. He was not an unkind man, but I realize now that he was doing what he was doing is not a necessary duty for the betterment of our people. It was to remind me of my place, and that place was to be beneath him. I can't stay here anymore. There are others like me who believe in the value of striking back. I will hide this book, my life's work in Shenmu's library, and pray that no earth dragons find it. This event should not be forgotten. This injustice should not be forgiven. Let this record stand as proof of the earth dragon's crimes. Emorana. And that's really all I wanted to go through. I am the Blue 32. This has been Freedom Planet 2. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.